The Problems with Connecticut Climate Change Policy Part 1. Is man-made global warming real? The issue of man-made climate change is affecting everyone in ways most people do not understand. I'm not speaking in terms of the changes in the weather that may or may not be occurring, but the actions being taken by governments in response to what they believe is happening with the climate. The state of Connecticut has been planning for and implementing changes in response to global warming since the year 2000. These planned changes have been slowly transforming most areas of society, including transportation, construction, and agriculture. This is the first part in a multi-part series examining the various reports, action plans, and other official documents from the state of Connecticut in relation to global warming or climate change. The Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, the DEEP, has a list of several significant documents that chronicle the agency's efforts to take action on climate change. These documents will be cited throughout this multi-part series examining Connecticut climate change policy. The first aspect of this conversation that should be examined is the idea that humans are having an effect on the climate by engaging in activities that increase carbon and other greenhouse gas emissions. The state of Connecticut has taken the position that Connecticut residents have accepted climate change as undebatable and that, quote, due to the overwhelming supporting evidence of climate change, we have chosen not to revisit the validity of climate change debate, end quote. Therefore, even when there are multiple critics of climate change science in the state, as evidenced by the public comment section of a 2010 Connecticut climate change report, the state has chosen not to even entertain debate on the issue. State officials rely heavily on information put out by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, to justify their climate change programs. The IPCC has come under heavy scrutiny in the past as there have been many documented errors with information put out by the organization. Furthermore, the IPCC information cited by the Connecticut Governor's Steering Committee in 2007 indirectly states that man-made climate change is not 100% conclusive. Quoting from that document, quote, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released its fourth assessment report, stating that, quote, warming of the climate system is unequivocal, end quote, and that, quote, most of the observed increase in globally average temperature since the mid-20th century is very likely due to the observed increase in anthropogenic greenhouse gas concentrations, end quote. If the topic of man-made global warming is truly undebatable with overwhelming supporting evidence, then why did the IPCC use the phrase very likely and not definitely or factually? The truth is that man-made climate change is not as factual as many people and organizations purport it to be. There are many scientists, including climate scientists, who do not agree with the notion that human activity is causing warming. A popular meme that goes around regarding this topic is that 97% of scientists agree that global warming is real and man-made. But this number has been shown to be false by various independent researchers and organizations. Even if the 97% number was real, should it really matter how many people agree on something? Isn't science based on reproducible results, facts, and not on consensus? While this analysis may seem logical, many people are hesitant to take the scientific opinion from someone who is not a scientist, such as myself. Therefore, when it comes to the topic of man-made global warming, people should not only listen to the scientists constantly cited by mainstream sources who are perpetuating the idea that global warming is caused by human activity, but also seek out, find, and listen to the scientists that hold a different view. One such scientist, John Coleman, founder of the Weather Channel, has been very public in his disbelief in the prevailing climate science. Coleman made a presentation titled, "There is no significant global warming," which presents many convincing arguments in his favor that should be watched by interested persons. Now that we have established that man-made climate change is not a fact, in the second part in this series, we will analyze the different Connecticut climate change documents and examine the various admissions made as to the lack of accuracy in their calculations. Stay tuned.